Lighting video 2. Alright, continuing with our lighting, we will place our model lines on our first floor plan so that we can visibly see the location for our lights on our ceiling plan. So I'm going to place a center mark at every location where I need a light. So I'm going to have a center mark here, a vertical line, horizontal line. I have a vertical and horizontal line. Here's my center of the island. So I'm going to offset this center model line in the Modify tab. Offset, let's go 3 feet each way. See where that lands me. It's a little much. We're going to go 2 feet. 1 and 2. So I'll put a recess can here and here, and then I'll have one in this corner here, and then I'm going to offset. I'll go the 2 feet to the left twice. So for my kitchen, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights. And I'll go back to my first floor ceiling plan, and I'll click on the Architecture tab, click on Component, and add my 8-inch downlights. At each location. Alright, now it's possible that I've noticed an error. I'm going to skip this offset because it's very close together. So we have symmetrical pendants, or symmetrical recessed on these two, and then one here. Again, the pattern is going to be what you develop. It may look a little different in the field based on the truss layout above and where they can place lights. Really the electricians will do a good job of putting it to code in the field. Think of our lights more for graphics and for creating a good realistic picture over putting lighting to code, because we're beginning with this software. Okay, so let's cut the section and see what we have. I need to verify that the ceiling's in the right place and that the lights are in the right place. Okay, my ceiling came in right on schedule, 9 feet, so that's good. And my downlights are placed on the ceiling in the right location. So all that checks out. So that's how you install recessed can lights into your home. I'm going to let you do the same thing for other locations. If you want recessed can lights, let's say right here on this little entryway, you'll put a couple in the hall. The best way to do this is to model line and go ahead and just go across the space with a diagonal line. There's 1 and 2, and then this location where it crosses will be where you put the light. So you can continue with the recessed cans. I'm going to show you how to place a ceiling fan in a space. So that'll be for the master bedroom. We would want one in the living room. We definitely want to add a pendant light over the dining room table, wherever that is centered. And then we'll need to add a couple pendant lights over the island. So for the ceiling fan, I'm going to split this space in half with model lines. I'm going to draw a boundary here, and I'm going to draw a boundary. Let's say we have, this is the boundary for our living room. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to use this area here, this 12-foot forward dimension. Again, this is more designing than anything, and strategically and logically placing things in the right location. I've seen some students who just come through and they just start clicking lights in and they want to check the box and get it done. And then they don't have anything set up correctly when we go to do our graphics. We don't have enough lights, or we have too many, and then our final product doesn't look like it should because we didn't take the time to go through and handle the details correctly. So remember, it's all about the details, as we have discussed. All right, so there's my center of the living room. This line actually needs to come over a little bit. Sometimes it gets a little tricky to make sure that that's correct. So there's my center of my room according to those lines. We'll go back to ceiling plan, and same procedure. It's a component. We'll load family. We'll find the lighting folder and go to architectural. This is internal, and we'll do a ceiling we don't have one in our library. Let's see. Let's find specialty equipment. Let's see if one's in there. Domestic, mid-range. We do not have one. All right, so this is going to be our first go at getting a external Revit file. All right, so if we want to find a ceiling fan, we're going to open a web browser. And we're going to Google. Nope, not that. My browser defaulted to email. Google.com. Boom. All right, we're going to search ceiling fan and then .rfa. That means Revit family file. Those are the file types for all of the ceiling or all of the components of Revit. And you're going to see here that we have plenty of options to choose from. The trick is going to be to find a realistic ceiling fan. We can just drop in any fan we want. At this point in our journey with learning Revit, this is actually fine to do. But in the future, we're going to actually specify the exact ceiling fan that we would want the builder to order and put that inside our model. But for right now, we can just find a fan that we want to use, something that looks, aesthetically pleasing to what you've designed. Some of these will say you need to pay. Most do not. Most ceiling fan or lighting or any of these companies will create their products for free for a Revit file, so that you can put them in your model, and then the builder will order your their specific item. So we're going to use here's a fan. I'm going to choose 2020. You'll choose the version of the software that you have. And then we have downloaded the fan here. So we can click on the file as it loads in. And this is going to open the file inside Revit. We are looking at the family file right now. It jumped over on top of our project. That's normal. All we need to do now is load into project and close. So we are loading this into the project and closing the file. So now we only have our project open. We are not on the ceiling plan view currently, so we will not be able to place this ceiling fan in this level. We'll need to click on the first floor ceiling, and right now it says no, and here's why. The default settings for this particular item says we must place this component on a vertical face. That's not going to be the case because we want it to be placed on the ceiling plan face. So we need to click place on face, and then it will adapt correctly. All right, our snapping feature will let us know when we have selected the middle of the lines. And this looks like a good spot. And we have a ceiling fan. All right, so we can double check and see what this looks like with the camera. You go back to first floor for that. And I'm going to start right here, come across the room, drag through the walls, and there's our ceiling fan. Ignore the missing crown mold. That was from another video. We didn't finish that out, but you will see that. You should have crown mold there. It looks nice behind. There's our Sequoia S that we placed in. And if we go realistic real quick, it may take a minute. Nope. There it is. There's our ceiling fan. Looks nice and neat. And it has all of the components that we need. Now you may change the material if you'd like. Generally you wouldn't do that with a Revit model that you've chosen, because the manufacturer specifies the materials and you wouldn't want to change those, because then if the builder orders an item that you've changed, it will look different from what you specified. So you wouldn't change anything here. But these are basically generic items, so you can update them and change them for this project only. So for example, I may want to change this to paint trim so it matches the trim in my home. That's fine. Again, for now. In the future, we'll find the right fan that matches and then download it and place it in. Alright, so that is that. Yep, there's those painted trim colored fan blades. Okay, so that's how you do lighting for both the ceiling fans and then for the recess cans. I would recommend you get the freedom to add more lighting. We're going to go through and add a light for our sink above our vanity in the bathroom, and then I'm going to show you exterior lighting. So let's go ahead and jump in on the lighting for the vanity. I'm going to move the section, go to view, and generally you would have a light somewhere in this area for your vanity. You would also need to import a mirror. That's in the component library. You can place that on the wall as you're moving through. And let's see. Let's go to component. Let's load family. And let's go to lighting. And let's just grab a generic wall light. That's going to be under... We'll take this cosmetic sconce lamp. And as it loads in, it's going to say place on face, which is the wall. So it's very similar to placing a component in the plan view. This is just in the section view. We click it in, and then we can align it to things with our align tool. So we're going to make it center up and probably let it be about the same height as the window, the 7 feet. If we get a mirror here and you want to lower it, that's okay. You wouldn't want it too low because it would blind you by the light. But other than that, that's how you place a light on a wall. And this will be the same for the exterior. I have a minute left. Let's see if I can knock this out for you real quick so we don't have to record another video. We'll go to the front view, the south view. We zoom in, and it'll be the same way. We're going to go to component, and we'll click on the load family and find an external light. And that's a street light, baller light, wall pack light. These are more commercial, it appears, than we would normally want. You may want to download one, but I'm going to show you this wall pack light. It's going to be too big. This is what you'd find on a commercial building. A super big light, say behind like a shop or a commercial space in a parking lot. But there's a wall pack. I would download one that's you know, more aesthetically pleasing for a residential home. But you're going to go around and you're going to do front porch lighting, back porch lighting, and then that'll be it.